We all have children who badly need love. Sometimes their behavior becomes pretty disruptive, and we have no clue what to do. I'm Greg Baer, and I'm going to share with you some powerful principles that will change the way you parent immediately and in the long term. The effect of unconditional love is rapid and usually predictable. Let me show you how true that is as I tell you about a real mother who is just beginning to study the ridiculously effective parenting training. Just starting, which you too will find at realloveparents.com. Mom wrote to me as an event was unfolding live in real time. If you're practicing the principles of real love, you are going to be experiencing some wonderful relief and joy and hope. You're going to want support as you keep going until it's second nature to you. So hit the like, subscribe, and bell buttons, and you'll get more practical application through these videos. So back to Mom, who is texting me about an event that's ongoing as she's doing it. She says, my 8-year-old is having an absolute meltdown here with me at home. My sister just dropped him off after a trip to the mall. She said he got super aggressive and violent with her. And I believe that. I've been there many times when he's done that. But I'm also pretty sure that my sister was not loving to him, as most adults are not. And now I don't know how to handle this. So I said, stop everything, hug him, hold him, and keep telling him that you love him. Remember, he's having a meltdown right then. Keep telling him you love him before you even talk about the meltdown or what happened at the mall. Only talk to him about his meltdown when he's completely calm in your arms. He might even struggle. Oh, you don't care. You just keep touching him. And Mom says, he's sitting in a chair next to me, but he won't let me hold him. Well, I get it. That's how it usually starts off. So reach over and just play with his toes. If that means you have to get down on the floor, then play with his toes. Kids almost always feel safe when you play with their toes because you're not attacking them frontally, and they wonder, what in the world are you doing? So when he lets you do that, then put his feet on your legs and play with his toes some more. So Mom went and did that. She said, it worked. Yeah. If I try more than that, though, he kicks and pushes. He's steaming mad at my sister. He says she was mean to him and grabbed him and wrestled him, but he's saying that he hates me too. While you're hating, just well, hate everybody, because I made him go with her so that I could get some work done. So it was partly my fault. And I said, play with his legs some more. Just toes, feet, calves, gently. Don't pull at him. And tell him that later you and he are going to go and beat up your sister. And then watch his face when you say that. There's no disrespect here of your sister. He'll know that by your tone of voice. You're playing with him. Mom said, my sister told me that he wanted to play on the escalator at the mall. And she told him no. And he kept trying to play on the escalator, so she had to block him. But he says she kept grabbing his shirt, which choked him, and then she pinned him down or something like that, which probably happened. I did tell him that she really was not being loving and that she didn't feel loved herself, and he said that she was an idiot. Don't argue with a kid who says that. So Mom says, I told him what you said about beating her up, and he agreed and instantly calmed more. Not all the way, but a lot. You want to disarm a child? This is me, not Mom. Listen to them. Well, I'm so angry at your sister. Well, then we'll go beat her up. He knows you're not going to go beat her up. He wants to be heard that he was really insulted and hurt. Mom continues. He was also very curious who I was texting and getting all this advice from, because Mom is texting me the whole while, and this kid's going, what's Mom doing? So I said to Mom, tell him that you could make her walk all day up the escalator, that he was coming, that as a consequence to your sister, tell your son that you're both going to make her walk all day long up the escalator that's coming down, which would be hard. And she couldn't get out because you guys would put barbed wire at both ends, which would trap her, and she'd have to spend all day walking up the down escalator. Remember, all this is done with a light humor. Mom writes back, when I said that, he smiled. Because you're listening. Way to go. I said, then tell him that he could put, in addition to her walking up all day, he could put little yapping dogs on the escalator to bark at her and bite her ankles. Mom says, now he's giggling. He's giggling. This is 3 minutes after he comes in screaming at me, and he's giggling. She says, I don't believe this. Mom continues, my sister texted that eventually he ended up kicking or shoving his brother, my sister, her son, and a store employee. Of course, I said. Of course he did. Nobody was listening to him. Nobody ever listens to him. Only recently have you realized how little you've listened to him and how much he's been affected by your own pain, emptiness, and fear. So when he was being yelled at and pushed and choked and disregarded, he exploded. His pain exploded. He didn't choose. He just couldn't contain it. Of course. Mom says he asked me who I was texting. And I said I was getting help from my parenting daddy, who is teaching me how to be a more loving mom. And his face lit up with a smile. He instantly relaxed more, and he wants to hear more about what you will tell me next. Now you've got, so he's being listened to. Now you've got his curiosity up. And Mom says, now he's letting me touch him more. So funny, I said, or texted back. He feels more comfortable now that somebody, this is so cool, that somebody is teaching you, the mom, how to be a mommy. Kids love knowing that you need help just like they do. Somebody's always telling the kids what to do. They don't see their parents listening to anybody. We're always saying, listen to me, to the kids. But we don't listen to anybody. He was comforted by your humility in being willing to learn. He couldn't have put that into words, but he was feeling all that. I promise you. Tell him, from me, tell your son that I think he is the man. He wanted to play around on the escalator, and that's okay. In fact, it's brilliant. He just didn't have people around who understood him when he did that. And one day, you two will go to a place with an escalator when it's not busy, and he'll run up and down the escalator. And you'll teach him to be considerate of any other people who are there. Tell him all that. Mom writes back, texts back, and says, he's calm and happy, and he has this great big face-busting smile on his face. It's cool. She said, he's loving these ideas that you're giving me to tell him. In fact, he's just sitting there going, tell me more. So I kept going. I said, tell him that 100 years ago, I was a little boy, and I ran up and down escalators, usually opposite the direction they were running, and it's fun. Mom texts back. He asked what he could say to my sister when he sees her again. He's preparing his revenge. Mom, tell him to say nothing. Just let it go. If she's bossy or snotty, he can say, I'm going to call Mom so she can help me know how to answer you without being snotty. Again, no disrespect for your sister. You're just teaching him how to deal with the difficult stuff. They're dying to know. He's going to feel so empowered that you're loving him and teaching him and willing to take a call when he's stuck. But it's not against your sister. It has nothing to do with your sister. It's about learning life. Remember that all this is about your delivery, how you say it to him. You're not sympathizing with him. You're listening. You're not mad at your sister. You're just explaining that she doesn't know how to listen to him, especially with him being, the man and all, like I told him before. Mom says, this is by far another planet, the best recovery I've ever seen with him when he's having a meltdown. Best I've ever seen, like a miracle. Now he's sitting in my lap with his head on my shoulder. Nice work, Mom. To everybody, children who don't feel loved are in pain. They hate that. And eventually they tend to either blow up or withdraw. Either way, their tender little souls die a little each time. We can learn to love them. This is Greg Baer. Hit the like and subscribe buttons and we'll be back to you. Questions? Put them in the comments. It's all about the love. It's all about the parents.